Welcome back to Film Fanatics. My name's Miles, and today we're talking about Ahsoka Episode 2 on Disney Plus. And I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know I had to watch this like 3 freaking times because I'm gonna let y'all know. I appreciate the Star Wars lore. Let me say something nice first. And how they, make it seem like you're in the Star Wars universe. I appreciate that. But overall, it's kind of boring. Like, a couple of my friends were like, oh man, I like the lightsaber scenes. And I'm like, y'all have low expectations. Like, very, very low expectations. But before we get into everything, I'm going to get into my breakdown, review, how I felt, pros and cons. But before we start, I would like to thank every single one of my last 17 subscribers. We're this close. We almost have an entire football team. Then we're going to start having tryouts. Then we're going to start having millions of people in the stands to watch us just practice. And then one day we'll have 1 billion subscribers on this channel. I believe in it. I believe in you. I believe in myself. So one day we're going to have 1 billion subscribers on this channel, and we're going to have a whole movie theater built to host all 1 billion of us so we can watch The Dark Knight in 10,000 millimeters. They're going to have to make it for us. They're just going to have to reshoot the entire movie, all the characters. I don't care. De-age them, all the money, spend it, because we're spending bread to get this thing done. So thank you so much to you all, and now we're about to get into it. So basically what happens is, in the last episode, Ahsoka finds a map and it gets stolen by our bad guys because our other character, Sabin, or if I'm sorry I'm butchering her name, but Sabine, she gets stabbed, and now we pick up where, she's in kind of the hospital. Lightsabers aren't really, that thing anymore. One swing from Darth Vader, took out Obi-Wan Kenobi, but, one stab here, barely an inconvenience. So she's getting all fixed up, but Ahsoka has the bright idea to go back to where this all happened, which was basically her apartment, and she uses the Force to kind of feel what happens. And somehow, some way, and for some crazy reason, the droid is left. He's still there, and she takes out the droid and she takes it back to Sabine, and they go in the hospital bed and they're like, well, based on my calculations, I can find out where this is from. They eventually figure that out, and they eventually go to the manufacturing place where this droid was made. Now, they get here, they start questioning people, everything's a little off. This all leads into where they're under a lot of pressure because the droids are kind of telling on all the real people, and they're figuring out, well, maybe this is the place and y'all are all colluding with the wrong people. And some guy stands up and says, for the Empire, pew, 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 pew. But this is quickly foiled by Ahsoka and her comrades and her clique. And now they know the Empire's involved. This guy should have just been like, bang, bang, bang. And he might have had a chance, but now he's dead. He's freaking dead. Like, they're not even playing with these people. So they eventually find out that this ship is carrying something somewhere, which ends up being basically like a hyperdrive to allow a ship to go further to get to where Thrawn is. I appreciate them showing us how things are built in space, because a lot of the times it's like, how do you have the resource? Like what would really, where would this take place? Like, how are you building these things in space? So I'm glad they're showing us that. I appreciate that. But before this ship takes off, we got a high-speed chase between our girl bosses. Yeah, girl bosses. So they're chasing it down, and the general, I forget her name, but the green lady, she's very, very, very good at what she does. And she goes through and she puts a tracker on the ship. And then we're led into our big lightsaber fight. Hey. It's not the greatest lightsaber fight, but it's way better than the one from the last one, because Ahsoka's a part of this one, and Ahsoka's a BA. I'm glad they're letting us have a BA character. It's Ahsoka. So, we're not going to sit here and say, oh, well, y'all just making us think she's, a BA. Well, no, well, she's a Jedi, so let's be realistic here. So they have this little fight, introduce another villain, a part of the main associates of villains that we've got going on right here. So there's 3 now, so they're really going off Star Wars lore here, and that's one thing, like I said, it's really a slap in the face to pure Star Wars fans. It's like there are 3 people operating on sort of the Sith, and now we have 2. It's like y'all are in like there's no balance to this Force anymore, and that was the kind of the whole point of having Jedi and Sith Lord. It's like, it's the tale of 2. That's why we start off with the Padawan and the Master. All this stuff has to make sense in the Star Wars lore, and they're just throwing shit at us. And I ultimately think, like I said, to hardcore Star Wars fans, they're gonna check out, because that's just not how it works. Because like I said in my last video about Ahsoka, I think they're trying to explore the concept of a gray Jedi, but that shit can't exist. That's not how this shit works. If you want to do some shit like that, make something else, call it Space Cadets, and do your own freaking thing. But Star Wars is Star Wars. Stop fucking it up. But they fight. They realize, you know, Ahsoka's a BA. They're always running. I don't know what the F they're gonna eventually do about her, but they eventually run. They put the tracker on the ship, so they obviously know where it's going. So I'll make the video on episode 3 later, and we'll see what happens then. But, you know, that's kind of how it leads off. And then, you know, Sabine, you know, gets to the point where she's like, okay, I'd like to reinstate my training. I'd like to start being on the path of a Jedi. So we got that storyline going for us. You know, I think that's pretty cool. You know, she's been told that she sucks, and, you know, I think that's a great trope, because when we have big goals, when we have things we want to set out to do, a lot of people are not going to believe us initially, and that's how you know you're on the right track. When a lot of people are laughing and shitting on your dreams, that's when you know you're this close. And that's what makes it so much special when you break through, because, you know, everyone, like, you're gonna see the real results. You're gonna be living a real life. Like, it's not gonna be the same. And when people are trying to shit on you, or when people are trying to make fun of you, or people are trying to do anything, you'll realize, like, it's that much more special because I did it. I got it done. And that's what's going on here. So all these tropes that are playing along, I really appreciate that. So those are a lot of my pros about it. I like the tropes, I like the Star Wars things. A lot of my cons, like I said, they're getting away from what Star Wars is. I don't think a lot of people are tuning into this, so I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Even if this was an immaculate, amazing, fantacular show with a litany of great things to say and nothing of bad to say, I don't think a lot of people are tuning in. But like I said, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so very, very much. I can't wait to deliver more content for you, but I need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because when you do that, it means we're working together. It means you're my bud. You're my friend, and I F with you. So have a great rest of your day. Catch me on the next video about Ahsoka. I'm gonna go see a couple movies later, so I'll review those as well, so be on the lookout for that. But thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.